But when you look at it, I actually think we are facing a significant crisis in British Columbia and in Canada.
Yes.
And some people say, oh, it's a climate crisis. No, climate is not a crisis. It's not an existential threat. Right. It is an issue, but it is not a crisis.
Right.
All the social issue stuff, they are not a crisis. They are problems.
Right.
We have a crisis. In British Columbia today, approximately 25% of your personal income taxes is just paying interest on our debt.
Exactly.
And we have a $9.5 billion deficit, and I suspect it's going to be much larger by the time we get to March.
Possibly 14.
Possibly high as 14. And so you're looking at this and thinking, like, how are we going to get out of this problem? This is a recipe for, if not bankruptcy, serious economic decline in this province.
And all the major projects are stopped.
Exactly.
Site C is
Site C is done. The LNG Canada, the Coastal GasLink, the Trans Mountain, all the big projects are done, and there's nothing else coming on the pipes.
And then at the same time, obviously, then talking about the forest industry a little bit more later, but adding the forest industry, we used to have 120 sawmills in British Columbia. Now we're down to something like 60. We used to employ 180,000 people. We're now somewhere in half of that.
Yeah, I think it's even less than that now. But
it is likely even less than that. And at the same time, what concerns the people in a general sense is that I look at the incumbent government under Premier Eby, the NDP. We have no representation in government in Victoria, other than we have 3 NDP MLAs, I believe, in the Kootenay region, and
two in the Kootenays, one in Vernon, and one in Prince Rupert, and none of them have any significant portfolios.
So, what do we do? And now we look at northern British Columbia in particular in relation to that. Lumber manufacturing or the sawmill industry, which used to be the economic driver really in the province.
Yeah. You realize today the revenue that is coming out of our forest industry isn't even paying for the overhead cost in the Ministry of Forests.
Right.
That's crazy when you think about it. We've gone from a cut of about 75 million cubic meters a year to a cut. This year, I think we're going to be under 30. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 27 or 28 million cubic meters.
It used to be, John, from my perspective at least, that 70 million cubic meters annually was about the average that we had. And then, with all the changes that have taken place, it's gone down to 50 available, but of that 50 available, to get it into permits is probably less than half of that, 25 million.
Exactly. And so this is why I say we have a crisis, and we actually need to treat it like a crisis.
Yeah.
We have a revenue problem. Right. And if we want to improve healthcare, if we want to deal with the drugs and the crime on our streets, if we want to see our quality of life improving in this province, we actually have to treat this like the crisis it is.
Exactly.
And that means we have to get off our butts and actually get things approved and done.